Okay, so it's Dr. Nambi, who has come to observe the conference, not as a delegate. The conference itself is delegate to delegate, as in UN affairs, it's governments talking to governments, but that doesn't mean they're uninfluenced by lobbyists, outsiders, specialists, academics, and everybody else who can make their presence felt. So maybe I should just ask you to begin, just to explain why you are here, because you're one of, I don't know, 10,000 people. So what brought you here?
My interests are naturally with adaptation. If you will, I call myself an adaptation practitioner. And adaptation is gaining momentum. I've been attending, this is my fourth COP, and I see a progress in every front, particularly with respect to adaptation. So,
I'm just going to, just to make sure that everyone's on board, the COP is the parties who are directly involved. It's just the UN jargon for everyone who's participating have this series of meetings. And there have been about 10, I've forgotten how many, yes. So you've been to 4 of them. Oh, there you are. Oh, well, you're an old-timer in that case with COP. Sorry, yes.
This is COP 13. And as I told you, I've been following adaptation work because a lot of thrust has been given in the recent past on adaptation. And it has been considered as one of the additional response option about mitigation. So I've been following this, and we've been practicing adaptation. In some sense, we are doing some pilot projects in India, and we want to share this knowledge with people. And then there are other people who also do similar kind of work elsewhere, and we exchange notes on these things. And that's one important thing I'm here.
Okay, and when you say we in this context, you mean we, the Swaminathan, yes, and other people are presumably all working on. And so an adaptation in India, what does that mean? That you're finding ways of adapting to climate change?
Yeah. From time immemorial, man has found ways to adapt. It is not something new, though the impact is more today, one feels it more. But still, people have their own ways of adapting to things. Man is always geared to change. It's not a bad thing. The only thing is, the right kind of information is missing today. They can't go at the same speed what they were doing some 10 years back, 50 years back, 100 years back. So it's taking at a fast pace. So we have to kind of fine-tune the technologies, what they have. Basically build on what they have. That's what we are looking at.
Do you mean the way of life generally is faster, or that climate change?
Fine-tune the technologies, what they have.
Got to adapt quicker, or is it both?
Both, certainly. The way of life also has changed pretty fast. The globalization has become one world today, and it's not. In that sense, also climate has grown dimension to it, adds complexity to the whole situation. So, yeah.
And just so where are the projects that you're involved with? Where are they in India?
The project we run here at the foundation is called Vulnerability Assessment and Enhancing Adaptive Capacity to Climate Change. All the keywords are there: vulnerability, enhancing adaptation capacity. Everything is there. So the mandate is mostly on semi-arid regions. So the Rajasthan is one of the states where we run this project, as well as Andhra Pradesh down south. We are another state. We are running some pilot experiments there with respect to relevant to adaptation work.
They're both semi-arid areas. Yeah. Okay, so before I ask you about the project and the work, because that's what we really want to know about, what's happening on the ground, I wonder if you could just give us any impression of the sort of understanding or knowledge or interest in climate change in India. I mean, is it, for instance, regarded as a peripheral issue because there are much bigger issues of life and death and food and shelter, or is it something that's catching on public imagination?
Of late, yes, a lot of work has been done, and I could see the difference in the past 5 years. I mean, it has gone to the common language today, unlike in the past, certainly. Because one of the reasons I would attribute this, because it moved from the peripheral agenda to the central agenda. It is at least moving now for the government. And, it is a part of universal happening. We're kind of integrated in the whole world, and a lot of other things. And also the economic compulsions, we are in a development path today. And other compulsions, which naturally, as a side effect, we need to face a lot of things. So that is also, and another important thing is Dr. Pachauri being the IPCC chair, that also has helped in some ways to kind of bring India into the forum, and projects like us, what the foundation, the M.S.Swaminathan Foundation runs, we concentrate more on awareness, particularly awareness component of the project. So on the whole, it has certainly improved. Certainly the awareness is going up. I could feel that, but at the village level, I'm not too sure. That is what we are trying to do at the foundation, basically, try to kind of give a clear-cut understanding about issues and what the problems are, assess the problems, and try to provide some right information at the right time for the people to adapt.
This one's from Heidi. I don't know where Heidi is, but other than in Second Life. The question is, do they work, they meaning you, work with manufacturers to help them see how they can do things to limit their impact on climate change? Presumably that's industries contributing to climate change. Are you working with them? Is this part of the project, or perhaps part of the foundation's work? I don't know, in other ways.
We don't really work with the corporate sectors directly, and we are promoting eco-technologies in many senses at the rural community level. So in that sense, basically, again, it is an evolving area for us. It's hardly 3-4 years, though foundation has been involved in climate-related components as part of various programs like coastal ecosystem system research or something. But as such, as a climate program, it's just evolving. So we are not our concentration is more on the rural base, the grassroots level implementation of certain ideas and experimentation at that level.
I suppose, in fact, I'm struggling with the UN terms here myself, but I mean that's in a way that's mitigation, isn't it? There's mitigation where you want to reduce carbon emissions, and what you're doing is adaptation, which has to go hand in hand, where the emissions are there, they're in the atmosphere, there's nothing we can do about them, and they're increasing, even if we manage to slow them down. And you're concentrating on that area. Oh, okay, keep this thought in your head. You're still on the list, one, but there's 2 to go, and we've got another one from Beatrix Benoit. Is support available for ordinary citizens in India who want to make climate justice a priority? Are people forming their own groups and networks? Okay, I know this is not your project, but this is someone taking advantage of your presence here to put a question to you.
If you ask me, I think, environmental justice has not gotten to the agenda yet. Maybe it has its own, it reflects in different forms. I won't say, you can bring it in one umbrella or something, it's human rights and all these kind of things, it kind of reflects in bits and pieces everywhere. But the momentum is there now, it's the right time, and there are a lot of NGOs who have got sudden awakening, because of the kind of things happening in the climate world, basically, climate community. And that sense, the day is not too far, I'm sure, India is known for all those things like Chipko movement, where Hug a Tree movement which started there, which is really spun into a big movement. So I'm sure the consciousness is raising, and the awareness is going up, and the days to come, I'm sure, this will be an issue.
Okay, well, we're running out of time here, so luckily there's one more question I can squeeze in. Is this a question interesting that's come through oneclimate.net, which is a website which is linked to the Second Life transmission? Is your work relevant around the world or just in India?
I'm sure it is. This adaptation is needed everywhere. In fact, you could see one example in India. Again, Canada is another country which has taken the lead in these things, and they were demonstrated enough on adaptation, how adaptation could work. So I think it is universal, absolutely. It is very important, and all the more important for developing countries, because there are a lot of traditional wisdom available, you have to tap those things. It is not that, as I told earlier, people have been adjusting their lives, as and when change occurs. So I think it's universally applicable. Only the kind of adaptation techniques, and depending on the, given climatic conditions, it might vary. But I think it is universally applicable, I'm sure.
Interesting. Okay, we have to cut that segment, but thank you very, very much indeed. We grabbed Dr. Nambi when he was passing, so I'm very grateful for you for coming in.